This is the presentation for drawing points and changing the point style. First, we need to draw some points on the screen. So I'm going to go to the Draw panel on the ribbon, click the drop down, and select the Multiple Point command. I'm going to pick some points on the screen to draw some point entities. When I'm done, I must hit the Escape key to end, otherwise it's going to repeat because it's a multiple type command. It might be hard for you to see those point entities. That's the purpose for having the Point Style command. Under the Utilities panel, click the drop down, and that's where you'll find Point Style. Brings up the Point Style dialog box, and here you can set what do you want those points to look like. Maybe I want them to be a circle with a point in the center. You have two choices to set the size relative to the screen or set the size in absolute units. I'm going to leave it set relative to the screen and leave it at 5%. I say OK, and notice each of my points that I drew become a circle with a dot in it. And that's the point entity. If I continue to draw additional points, notice all the new points also have that point style. If you go back to Utilities in the Point Style dialog box, and I change that I want to be a circle with an X in it and say OK, all your point entities change as well. One drawback to the point style is you can only have one point style setting for the entire drawing. So all the point entities will look the same at all times. I'm going to go back to the Point Style dialog box. It says set size relative to the screen, so we're using 5% of the screen value, and I say OK. When you zoom in on those entities, they will enlarge, but for whatever reason, if you're going to regenerate your drawing or your screen does an automatic regeneration, I'll just type in regen to force a regeneration and hit enter. Notice that they resize. And if I zoom out, again, they're small, but if I type in a regen, they'll increase in size to be 5% of the screen. So anytime the AutoCAD system does a screen regeneration, those sizes are going to change automatically. And it might throw things off. That's why you have the other option. I'm going to zoom back in here. And the other option under point styles is to have an absolute unit. The point size is 5 units. I'm going to change that to 0.25 units. And hit enter. Now no matter if I zoom in or zoom out, they'll always be the same size. Even if I type in regen, nothing changes. The nice thing about this is if you want a point style or a point entity to be a specific item in your drawing, such as a fence post or a power line pole, you could use the point entity and they will also plot to the exact size. And then if I wanted to copy one of those point entities, I could pick a point in space with ortho on, and maybe these points are 5 units apart. So I'd say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35, and 40. Hit Escape key to end, and I can zoom out, pan over, and there you can see that I have all my point entities, and they're exactly 5 foot on center. So that was using the Copy Multiple tool. One last thing is if you're a keyboard artist, you could type at the command line DDP type, which stands for Display Dialog Point Style Type. Hit enter, you see the Point Style dialog box comes up. And if you're using the AutoCAD Classic workspace, you'll find Point Style under the Format pull-down. So you go to Format pull-down, Point Style to bring up the same dialog box. So that's the end of the presentation for points and point styles. Please let me know if you have any questions.